find some sort of harmony and balance.
Ladies and gents, what's up? BC here. Wanted to do another episode for you guys. I recently was rereading a book and this thought came to me, right? A lot of times random thoughts come to me, ideas. And the first tip I want to give you is always write those things down, make a note in your phone. If you have a pen and paper, right, jot something down, because typically in those moments of inspiration or something pops up, if you do not acknowledge it in that moment, a lot of times, and again, I'm guilty of this, you forget, right? And a lot of times those are fantastic ideas, whether it's marketing for your business in general, a thought you want to share with somebody, something you want to share with your team if you're a leader at any capacity, right? One thing I want to focus on today, and this is huge because this permeates every aspect of our being, and I think a lot of people have become so detached from this, they don't even really realize how present and continuous this is in our lives, right? And I want to specifically focus in on self-talk, but also the words that we use with people. And I wrote down a bunch of common phrases, right? And I'm coming at it from the angle of not only can we remove some of these things, but a lot of them are framed negatively. They belittle ourselves and other people, and they don't serve to grow, right? The language that you use has extreme power because the unspoken language, meaning what's going on in your head, is infinitely more powerful because only you're aware of it, if you are, and no one else can hear it. Yet everything that you project outwardly is a manifestation of what's going on up here, right? And that's the power of language. You can speak life into somebody or you can make them cry and destroy them, all with the words that you use and how you deliver it. That's how impactful it is. Imagine watching a movie, right? When you're just spellbound, right? When you're just captivated. A lot of times, yeah, it's the noises and the ambiance, but a lot of times it's the words and the delivery of that particular actor. So I'm going to give you a few right now, and then we'll start going through them. These are a few common ones. I'll give you a few examples, and then we'll dive a little deeper into the subject, all right? These can either be said to yourself or other people, right? Oh, hey, how are you? Oh, I could be better. Oh, I can't complain. I'm doing okay. Other, I'm so dumb. I'm so silly. I'm so stupid. Common thing people say, right? Another one that someone will tell, oh, at least you tried, right? Another one, hey, I'm going to try to fill in the blank. I'm going to try to make money. I'm going to try to grow. I'm going to try to be better. Another one, hopefully it works out. Hopefully I get the job. Hopefully this happens, right? And the last one I wrote is friend banter. Think about like being with your friends. Do you guys always diss each other? It's cool to poke fun at people from time to time, but if it's a pattern and you're doing it regularly, hey, you dumbass, hey, you idiot. Again, these things said once or twice, harmless. When they're said continuously, they become patterned and it's a habit you're now ingraining into your subconscious mind. This to become reality. That becomes your world. You start perceiving things differently. Everything and its circumstances and the events in your life start to shape around these phrases. Right? Oh, I could be better. I could be better. That's not, why don't you change that into something powerful? I'm doing great. I'm committed to growing my business. I'm excited. It's another day to grow myself and my business. A couple examples, right? Now, this seems innocent, but you need to understand that what you default to automatically is your operating system in your mind and in your beingness. Meaning, all this stuff is great, but if you don't start drilling and changing these things and taking this power into your own hands, everything stays the same. Like, can you imagine me, somebody that many of you watch and say, man, you're a great speaker, you're confident in how I walk and how I carry myself and how I speak. Could you imagine my self-talk being any of these things? Oh, I can't complain. I'm doing okay. I could be better. No, if you heard that, you would laugh. You would say, there's no way this dude talks to himself that way. Of course, because the same words that I'm giving you, whether again on the positive or empowering end or the disempowering end or negative side of it, you have associations with it because you know what that equals. So you need to make sure every word coming out of your mouth to other people as much as possible, but most importantly to yourself, is in alignment with where you want to be. You see, and this is a process that many people have to take themselves through because until you make this assessment and start to change it and even become aware of how you're talking to yourself, it's very difficult to pinpoint this because it's gone out of your awareness. A lot of these mechanisms have slipped into your subconscious and you're not even aware presently when it's going on. An example of this is if you ever catch yourself daydreaming and it takes you like minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to snap out of it, that's 10 or 15 minutes of you, what I call floating or being unconscious. Think about all the time wasted there and all the conversations and words that were said. You're not even aware of it because again, you were just in la la land. Now that's dangerous to the human being. Now, if that's controlled, visualization, right? Some sort of meditation, right? The proper self-talk and the proper emotional state, that's extremely powerful. But if that mechanism slips into just, it's automatic and it's out of control, then that's dangerous, right? Because that's affecting your psyche. And if you're not saying the right things, doing the right things in the right way, it leads you down a path of regression, of stagnation, of going down, right? Life is dynamic. Everything about our beingness as a human being is dynamic. You're either getting better and growing and moving more towards who you want to be, or you're going the other way. There's no, oh, it's the same. It's never the same, right? It's never the same. It's dynamic. And that's something people need to always be reminded of and always remember. And if you haven't known that, good, learn it. Everything in life is dynamic. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is static, okay? So when you hear of classic things like affirmations and incantations, that's a way of taking this mechanism and beginning the process of changing it. Why? You want your automatic talk to be the opposite of some of these things that I described. I'm now at a point where I don't have to do affirmations and incantations. My mind is not out of control. I'm not always talking negatively to myself. If something bad happens, I don't sit there and harp about it forever and beat myself up about it and feel bad. It's a moment and then I move on. But see, I've developed that skill. I've exercised my mind to the point of being able to do that. And for many of you who are entrepreneurs, salespeople, real estate people, that's what holds you back the most. Even before you want to do your first task of the day, like let's say pick up the phone, go approach somebody, make a follow-up call, go door to door, your own mind and your own self stops you from doing it. You start with the nervousness, you start with the, oh man, hopefully people are nice. And you start creating all these excuses and things like, oh, I'm going to check email and do this instead of doing the work that you need to do. Now, it wasn't that the task is impossible to do. It's that you stopped yourself. And if I was to be able to peer into your mind and into your body in that moment, I would be able to listen in and pinpoint exactly why you're not doing it. It's, again, the negative self-talk, the negative perception, right? The negative expectations. I made an episode, the previous episode to this, where I talked about the holy trinity of success: desire, belief, expectation. Now, your desires, belief, and expectations will change when the self-talk change, because that's your programming, right? Every computer has a software like Windows, Mac, and Apple, whatever the fuck it is. Like, I'm not an expert in it, but that's preloaded software that launches the computer and allows it to run the operating system. Now, the beautiful thing about being a human being is you can change yours, you can upgrade it, right? And this is one of the main things that feeds into that operating system, because your desires will change when your self-talk change. Your belief in yourself and what you're doing will change dramatically, and your expectations, for damn sure, which is the hardest one, will absolutely 100% change. Because now I'm expecting to win. I'm expecting the door to open. I'm expecting the person to be responsive. I'm expecting the prospect to now answer when I call. But deduce that down to self-talk. Many of you who, let's say, are watching this podcast or listening to it, right, on audio, think about that, right? The last time you followed up with somebody, you had to talk to a lead of yours to see if they would convert or if they're ready. What are the thoughts and self-talk before you pick up the phone? And for many times, oh, I don't want to bug them. Is it the right time to call? See, that's all negative, because that is not conducive to you making the call and picking up the phone with more enthusiasm. That's stopping you from doing it or creating an excuse for you not to do it. How about we change it? They're expecting my call. They're going to be excited when I call. And if you genuinely expect that, you genuinely expect it, regardless of how they answer and what happens after that, you enter that completely differently, with more conviction, more confidence, more enthusiasm, more willingness to make it through any temporary discomfort or barrier that you're met with, you see? And everything is predicated on that, man. Language is powerful, right? If you were around me, any of you who listen to this at any capacity, if you became a close student of mine and you were around me and we had, more personal lectures and you spoke with me for a couple minutes and you were just around me, let's say you hung out with me in person, it would completely change your emotional state, your mood, your mindset, your level of confidence, and how you view and perceive the world. It would shatter your reality because of how people respond to me, how I interact with people, how I speak, my presence, how you feel around me, because now you'll be close and accessing something that you've probably never experienced before at that level. And you'll just be unfolded into a completely new reality of possibilities, because I once was in your shoes and I developed myself into who I am and what I am today. And everything outside of me is a reflection of that. And many of you who follow me, whether you're, again, just a follower or a fan, with my online stuff, or you're a student, you're paying for my coaching at any capacity, there's something you see in me that you would like to acquire, or that you admire, or that you would like to embody at some point. And that's why you keep listening and keep following, whether it's the confidence, communication skills, or whatever it is, right? So being around that and being in more proximity of that, it'll start to become more real to you. And there's no denying it. And if you had that, it would completely change your life at every capacity: personal, interpersonal relationships, business, right? Fulfillment in life, confidence, health and fitness, lifestyle, perspectives, all those things. So let's start paying more attention. This is step one. Let's start paying more attention to how we speak, how we interact with others, our own little personal narrative and story that's going on, in between the ears. Once you do that, you'll first become aware of it. And now you can start changing it and putting pen to paper and saying, you know what? I normally say, when someone says, how are you? I say, I could be better, or I can't complain. What are some other things I can start saying to reinforce a different story, something more impactful, something more powerful, something more conducive to my growth? And then you write it down and you come up with your own. And then you're waiting for somebody to ask, how are you? And you say it and you do it until it becomes automatic. And you go through with everything. How do I respond when somebody's negative to me? Here, next time I'm going to say this and do this. And this is how you start recreating yourself. You've already created yourself up to here, and it's gotten you to where you're at and the current results that you have. And for most of you, you're not satisfied with it. It's time to recreate yourself and do something new and learn and grow. And when you start doing that, everything changes, my friends, and you start getting closer to where you want to go. It becomes easier for you to take action, wake up on time, be excited, and achieve what you want to achieve, because it all starts from within you. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Couple quick announcements. TeamBCEvents.com. I'm doing a massive momentum summit coming up soon to finish the year strong. Grab your ticket. That's free. Doing another event coming up in October as well. Keep a lookout for that on the same website. If you guys need any help, right, go to BryanCasella.com and hit us up, schedule a strategy call. And if you're a realtor listening to this and you want to collab with me and become a part of my 100 plus person network at Real Brokerage, schedule a call and we can chat about the opportunity. Okay, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.